It was just game 1 of 162, so why not start with a glass-half-full look at the Blue Jays' opening day loss before a sleepy non-sellout crowd at the Rogers Center. Pitcher Marcus Stroman was borderline brilliant in allowing 2 hits over 7 shutout innings against the Detroit Tigers, thereby getting an early bump to his potential trade value. Unfortunately, Detroit Tigers starter Jordan Zimmerman was dealing as well, taking a perfect game deep into the late afternoon until Teoscar Hernandez ended the potential drama with a 2-out, infield single in the 7th inning. A game between two teams setting up for long, unsuccessful seasons had to have a winner, and the way the Tigers swiped a 2-0 extra inning win wasn't pretty. Sure, the Jays got to the 10th without allowing a run, but the lack of bullpen depth was immediately exposed. Daniel Hudson, acquired out of desperation on the weekend, showed why the Angels released him last week. A double to Nico Goodrum followed by a Kristen Stewart 2-run homer allowed the Tigers to put up the only runs of the game. Continuing with the ominous part of the program, it was the third consecutive opening day loss for the Jays, the first time they could make that claim since 1984-86. It was also extended the rebuilding team's club record losing streak for its home opener to 8 years. And in so doing, it spoiled the big league managerial debut of Charlie Montoyo. This threatens to be a long slug for the Jays, as the shine of opening day will disappear from the Dome for the remainder of the 7-game homestand to start the season. The announced crowd of 45,048 seemed to be an optimistic calculation, and even with it, it was the lowest opening day gathering for the Jays since 2000. The attendance drop-off is in full force, folks, and will only get worse. In many ways, the Jays fan base that blossomed over the past decade learned to appreciate good baseball things. On Thursday, there was a sense that they were here because it's something you do if you are a sports fan, and perhaps to snag the giveaway free t-shirt. The applause during player introductions was mild at best, with pitcher Aaron Sanchez the only one of the non-starters to get any type of reaction. Even as Stroman did his thing, there was barely a smattering of applause when his no-hitter was erased by a Jeimer Candelario single up the middle in the 7th. Justifiably, the fans are in a show-me phase, not completely sold on the major rebuild underway, and certainly not willing to support the venture until there is tangible evidence of a competitive product. Still, opening day is opening day, and it was certainly a special one for Montoyo, the first-year skipper who replaced John Gibbons to become the team's 13th manager. "Nobody in there is thinking about rebuilding," Montoyo said of the Jays clubhouse. "Everybody's ready to win games. And again, I heard that word last year with the Rays and they won 90 games. Game on." Stroman breezed through the first 3 innings with some help from solid defense in each of them. In the first, it was a Freddie Galvis to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. The Justin Smoke double play to erase a leadoff walk on 4 consecutive pitches to the Tigers' Josh Harrison. Next up, Danny Jansen added to the memories of his first opening day by gunning down Goodrum in his attempted steal of second. Smooth fielding Galvis applied the tag on that. And the third, a loud Jody Mercer fly ball to deep center was snagged at the wall by Kevin Pillar. Montoyo on Stroman: "He looks like the guy the first saw 2 years ago. He's throwing harder again. Where's the relief?" The Jays figure to be a hard-working, hard-playing team, and that should account for something among the fans and perhaps even in the one-loss column. There are, however, some glaring holes. Perhaps none bigger than the current state of the bullpen. When asked who would be the setup man for closer Ken Giles, on those occasions the Jays need a closer, Montoyo was brutally honest: "Right now, we'll see." Montoyo said, "We don't know who is going to pitch in the 8th yet. If the game's on the line in the 6th inning, it can be Joe Biagini. It depends where we are in the game." A couple of Montoyo's bullpen arms took care of the issue for one day, anyway. Biagini did indeed come in for the 8th and struck out the side, and was followed by closer Ken Giles, who did the same. All that did was set the stage for Hudson to burn it down. What about Vlad? Who knows? Perhaps the crowd would have been more into the proceedings if the great hope for the future, Vlad Guerrero Jr., was in the lineup. The sliver of good news to that end is that the just-turned 20-year-old is moving along quickly and recovering from an oblique strain suffered during spring training. He's coming along great, General Manager Ross Atkins said Thursday. He'll actually be playing in games this weekend. We're moving that timeline as quickly as we possibly can to make him an option. Atkins said that Guerrero will remain in Dunedin for extended preseason action and then will either graduate to Buffalo or remain in Florida depending on how he progresses, as well as the weather. Fresh new face. Not only were there a number of new Jays in Montoyo's lineup on Friday, there were a number of players who were experiencing their first big league opening day. No less than 9 on the Toronto roster fell into that category, a list that includes Rowdy Tellez, DH, Jansen, catcher, Sunday starter, Trent Thornton, relievers Elvis Luciano, Thomas Pannoni and Tim Meza, middle infielders Richard Arena and Gurriel, and right fielder Hernandez. Further evidence of the upheaval following the Wednesday night trade of DH Kendrys Morales. Only 3 Jays players were on last season's opening day lineup, outfielders Pillar and Randall Grichuk and first baseman Smoke. Pillar was on the past 4 opening day lines, the only Jays player who could make that claim.